What's up, everybody? Master Reactor here, and this is the final video of the night. So, and what a good way to end. I am in first place once again for the second time. So I went down to third, and I came back into first, and we have an interesting match to see what happened. Let's see. Go to my dual records here. And I've won 4 in a row. Must be nice. Look at all these wins. Holy shit, I've only lost 1 to MMF. So, let's see how I beat this guy. So, I throw paper, he throws scissors. So, not an ideal start here. Not gonna lie. So, let's see. He's got double Berserk Gorilla, Swords, Knock, Call, and Goat. I've got Solemn, BLS, Sangan, Book, and Tsukiyomi. He decides to set Goat and run out the Berserk Gorilla. Okay, I decide to set Solemn, set Book, and set Faith and pass. He draws into another knock. Alright, that was so fucking lucky. He knocks, I Solemn it, because I'm trying to fucking keep my damn shit around here. And he's got another knock for me. So I'm like, cool, that's so fucking awesome. Double knock. I was so pissed off when I seen that shit. You open fucking double knock. So I get rid of all my faves. He would have never done that. I would have booked his shit. Fucking summoned Tsukiyomi. Put the shit back. Flip it up. Fucking had Book again. Ran over his Berserk Gorilla. Would have been fucking perfect. Instead, he hits me for 2k and I'm at 2k. So, not much I can do. I draw into a Spy, which is a great draw. He draws Nimble Manga. So he's playing some Beast, Beatdown, crazy shit, and he's dicking on me. He runs the Nimble out and tries to swing, but I top deck the Spy, so I get to see another day. One more turn, and I draw into Sinister, which is pretty dead. So I run Tsukiyomi out, and I hit his gorillas. I'm trying to get through the monkeys. He top decks into Genzo. All right, must be nice. He sacks his gorilla for the Genzo, so awesome. Top deck Knock and top deck Genzo. And I draw into a Mirror Force, so it must be nice. This is going great. I set Sangan and pass. He draws into a Reaper. Another great card for him. He can stall with it. He can hit, take a card. It's looking wonderful. So he decides to just attack into the Spy and set Call and set Reaper and pass. I draw into another trap. So awesome. This is going wonderful. I set Tsukiyomi and pass, and a Ring of Destruction for no reason at all. He draws into Soul Exchange, so that's the first card that really is not doing shit for him. He swords me, I flip the Tsukiyomi back down. I'm just like, alright, that's cool. Now he decides to switch the Nimble and hit my Sangan. Only card I can get here is Deco, because everything else is gone. And I put the Genzo down. I draw into a Thunder Dragon. Alright, that's a pretty good draw, so maybe something good can come. I don't know. So I instantly grab 2 and I run the BLS out and decide just to banish the Genzo. Just fuck it, just banish him. And I set a Deco and just pass. He draws into Duo, so that is pretty dead, the Duo. He decides to Duo me. Gets rid of my Sinister and my Thunder Dragon no matter what, and he switches his Nimble and passes. I draw into Pot of Greed. Pretty good draw for me, so maybe I can come back. I banish the Reaper. I Pot of Greed here. Draw into Heavy and Chaos Sork. And I flip the Deco. And draw into a Duo, which is pretty nice. I drop the Chaos Sork and banish and decide to do them, just like fuck it. And I just set the Serpent and pass. He draws into Pot of Greed. Alright, the man's drawing everything. He Pot of Greeds into Cyber Jar and Berserk Gorilla. Not much he can do. He just passes. So now I decide to fire Heavy, because I'm like, fuck it, I have to here. Try to go for game. Of course, he's got Scapegoats. No shit. And that's all. I decided to ring one of the goats. Not sure if I could really do that, but it happened. So it is what it is. Cheating again this match, obviously. I sacked the Serpent. and crash into 2 goats with the Deco and the Thunder Dragon and hit him for 53, putting him on a 1-turn clock. Pretty much saying, you got a top deck to get me. Let's see what's it going to be. He draws into Graceful. Okay, so there you go. He needs a top deck, and he drew it. He draws Torrential, MST, and Premature. So, not that great. Actually, he could have beat me this turn. He could have literally just summoned the monkey, hit for 400. He could have just Premature Burial Jinzo. Or no, Jinzo's gone. Okay, so he couldn't beat me. No, the monkey's in there. So, no, it wouldn't have been... No, it would have been enough, yeah. You just summon the monkey and Premature the other monkey. And you win. So, this guy could have just beat me this game. He literally could have just smacked into... That's 400 and 600 is exactly 1,000. So he could have beat me, but he didn't. So, alright. Dueling book players, y'all. He throws out MST, and he throws out the Berserk Gorilla that could have won. So instead, he sets Pre and sets Torrential and just gives it up. He could have literally just Prematured the Gorilla and then summoned the other Gorilla, tack it to the Thunder Dragon, tack it to the Deco, and you would have got me. Instead, he does this, which is crazy. He's like, oh, he's going to summon, or he's going to attack it to the Cyber Jar. Alright, so I should have never won that game. So let's go into game 2. That's funny as shit. I love seeing that. Literally could have beat me game 1, but it didn't happen. So, game 2, he opens Royal Oppression, Premature, Torrential, Zaborg, Berserk Gorilla, and Breaker. He runs out the Berserk Gorilla and sets a Royal Oppression and says go. I've got Berserk Gorilla, Saku, Solemn, double spy. I'm only running 2 spies. I fire the Pot of Greed and draw into Torrential and Solemn, which is pretty nice. I decide to set the spy. I bordered a spy out this game. That's what it was. And I set my whole hand and just pass. So this guy is definitely a questionable player. So he decides to tribute for Zaborg. And I decide to just let that go. I'm like, fuck it, you got me. And I Saku his Zaborg. And he sets a Torrential and passes. I draw into a Berserk Gorilla. And I just pass. I don't do anything here. I just see what's up. He runs out Breaker, and I decide to Torrential it. And then he Premature Burials, and I have to Solemn this because I can't get over the Zaborg, so there's no point just to Solemn it. So I draw into a Book of Moon. I decide to run the Berserk Gorilla out, and it gets Torrentialed. I set Book of Moon and pass. He draws into a Dust Tornado. He runs the Reaper out. I think about it and decide just to Solemn the Reaper because I don't want to lose a card. He sets a Dust Tornado and passes. I drew Jar of Greed. I summon Spy and hit him for 12. He takes it. I set Jar of Greed. He in-phase Dust Tornadoes it. Then he draws Pot of Greed again. Alright, awesome. This guy loves drawing Pot of Greed when he has nothing. He draws into another Royal Oppression and a Soul Exchange. So now he tries to attack, and I just Book of Moon this, and I flip it back up, and now he takes 500, and I don't have any more, though. And just says go. I draw into a Mirror Force. So I decide to just set the Mirror Force and pass here. He draws into a Mobius. Alright, must be nice. He Soul Exchange, drops some Mobius, pops my back row. I draw on a Solemn Judgment, and we're going to game 3. I can't do shit about it. Maybe I should have just ran the Berserk Gorilla out. Maybe I would have won that game. Probably should have did that. I don't know why I didn't just attack over the DD Warrior Lady, because I had Mirror Force anyways. But I was trying to wait for the Zaborg. But he freaking big brained me and got the Mobius on my ass. So now I put some Dust Shoots in, 2 Berserk Gorillas, and like 2 Sakus, I think. So I open Knock, Berserk Gorilla, Thunder Dragon, Trap Dust Shoot, Book of Moon, and Chaos Sork. He's got Mirror Force, Cyberjar, Mobius, Swords, and Berserk Gorilla. So I discard the Thunder Dragons and grab them, and decide to set Trap Dust Shoot and set Book. He draws to a Soul Exchange. I stand by phase, instantly Trap Dust Shoot him, and put the Berserk Gorilla back to his deck. And he decides to fire the Swords, which is a neg, and just says go. I draw into Saku, and I know his whole hand, so I'm not going to give him no fodder for the Soul Exchange. I say go. He draws into Lightning Vortex. I draw into Tsukiyomi. And now I have to set a card because I don't want to discard. So I set Saku and pass. He draws into another Soul Exchange. So this will be the last turn on Swords. He decides to pass again. I draw into a Torrential. I have to set again. I set it. Swords is gone. He draws into a Royal Oppression, which is pretty dead. He sets the Oppression, sets the Mirror Force, and sets the Cyber Jar and passes. I draw into a Spy here. Now I decide, because I know he has Soul Exchange, I decide to just knock the monster right away. Because I think Torrential's gone or something. So now I decide to run Spy out here to hit him for 1200. I'm trying to bait the Soul Exchange here so I can drop the Chaos Sork on him and banish it. So he draws into a Breaker and he falls right for the trap and drops the the Mobius, and I decide to book a Moon him. And I draw into my Mobius now. I run the Berserk Gorilla out and I swing. I know he has Mirror Force, he uses it, and I say go. I have Torrential. He top decks into MST. Must be nice, because he would have fucking summoned Breaker right there, and I would have Torrentialed his ass, and it would have been over. Instead, I gotta work for it here. So now I go into main phase, and I drop Tsukiyomi and swing Bada Bada, and he says okay. And he draws into an Exiled Force, and he just passes. I draw into BLS. I decide to just set Sinister and pass. He draws into a Sinister. He runs the Exiled Force out, and he pops my Sinister, so that's great. And I draw into Pot of Greed, which was a pretty good top deck here. I Pot of Greed and draw into Jar of Greed and Fate. So now I decide to set the Jar of Greed, and I decide to just run out the Chaos Sword. He tries to Royal Oppression here, but you have to have Royal Oppression up before you use it. So it's not flying with me, so it's not going to happen. And he's like, oh, okay, he just checked the rolling. Yeah, he tried me. You have to have it up before the monster comes out. So he decides to, I decide to hit him for 23 and set Sinister and pass. Should have set the Faith there, not gonna lie. But he's got the Duo here, okay. And he gets my Tsukiyomi, and I throw out a Thunder Dragon. He has the Lightning Vortex, and he throws out a Sinister. He runs the Breaker out. He breaks my back row. I chain it. It's Jar of Greed. He swings into my Serpent. And this shit is over with, people. I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe not this turn, but I grab Sinister back, and now I decide to set Ring, set Mirror Force, and set Faith, and say go. He draws it to a Nimble Manga. He tries to attack, and I decide to Mirror Force it, because I'm going for game next turn. He says Nimble and says go. Now it's game. I decide to flip, get my Pot of Greed that I don't need to draw. I draw on a Duo and Charity. I decide to Charity that I don't need a Charity. I discard Sinister and discard Deco. I tribute the Faith for the Mobius. I banish a Dark, banish a Light, drop the BLS on him, banish that Nimble Manga bullshit, hit him for 24, and Ring of Destruction for the game. Let's fucking go. Woo woo. Y'all hit the like, hit the sub. This will be the last video. I'm pretty sure maybe I'll post one tomorrow, but definitely gonna take a break for until at least Monday. So stay tuned until then. Y'all have a good day or night. Peace out. Bye.